Okay then, welcome to the second episode of Inbetween Üs.
Is it called Inbetween Üs?
Yeah, the podcast called Inbetween Üs.
Okay.
Okay, did you not read the?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I just,
so
I'm just excited to be here.
Man doesn't even know the name of the podcast.
No, I didn't know.
So I'm here with Ubaid,
Hello.
and the main point of this podcast is to just talk about little things in our lives and just find out more about them.
Yeah, little things like mental health.
Yeah.
Little thing.
So we've got Ubaid, who's like quite a, how would you pioneer
Pioneer in what though?
in mental health, so experience.
I wouldn't
you
say
talk a lot.
that. I have a lot of experience.
Yeah,
yeah. And I have a lot of friends that suffer from it.
Yeah.
I think it just attracts
Mm.
everything. Yeah.
So let's just introduce yourself properly then.
Yeah. Okay. So my name's Ubaid. What else do I say about myself?
What do you study? What do you
This
do?
is like an interview. I study biomedical engineering.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. Currently second year, going into third year.
Yeah.
And it's summer, so
You're just chilling.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I work at Aldi. Shout out to Aldi. Yeah. So
Okay, I'm currently jobless, and this is what I do for a living, even though I get paid absolutely
I
nothing.
think this is pretty cool though. I'm actually really happy to be here.
So how come you wanted to come up? Like you said to me you wanted to join us and talk about it. So what was the reason?
No, I think I don't know if I even knew that you were doing a podcast, but I had already said to you, hey, this would be cool. Because you're a very social person,
Yeah.
You like talking on the camera and stuff, and I was like,
Well, I don't talk on the camera. Relax.
no, but
this is
okay.
awkward.
If it's a TikToker, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's the one. No, I'm not a TikToker.
But yeah. So I just thought it'd be cool to do something like this.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that you're doing a podcast, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is literally right up the alley.
Because I know you sent a message to me saying months ago, so I can't wait to go on your podcast. Like, I'm really excited to go to your podcast, blah blah blah. And then there was me procrastinating and messing it up. But obviously, I struggle with consistency, and I wanted everything to be perfect. We discussed in the last episode. I wanted canvas, everything to look perfect, blah blah blah. And obviously, recently I'm just trying to minimize it and focus on the things that really matter and just start.
Yeah, that's what the main thing is. But
so it looks decent as well. So
yeah, it's alright.
Yeah. So there's a camera in front of us, guys. But we're just looking at each other.
Yeah, we're just looking at each other.
So yeah. So let's begin then. So what comes to your mind when you think about mental health and stuff?
I
feel it's such a broad term.
Yeah, but
you can't really put. There's so many. Same medical problems. There's so many different things. You could be ill and it's a medical problem, and you have a disease that's a medical problem. So how do you differentiate with mental health? Because
exactly, I think that's the thing. When you think about mental health, you don't. I would say you don't even really think about it at all, because if you compare it to physical health, you can physically see it.
Yeah.
With mental health, it's something invisible.
Yeah.
It's something where you won't even know if someone's truly struggling with it. It could be, and it often is the happiest person, right?
Yeah.
They say that all the time, but
what do you mean?
Often the person that you socialize with, that are always happy, joyful. You just never think that they'd be struggling or anything like that. Yeah. They are the ones that are probably struggling the most. Yeah. Because they mask it so well, and that's the thing about mental health, is you can't really see it. And even when it comes to diagnosing people with mental health, it's so much more harder.
Yeah.
Even for doctors. I mean, it's the medicine man here. We'll probably find that out in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy. Compared to physical.
Mm. So how do you say your journey began with it then, from your personal experience?
I feel like my journey, when I realize it, I feel like my journey began since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I look back and I think, damn, it all makes sense.
Mm.
So I'll give a bit of context. Last year I was diagnosed with panic disorder.
What's that? Panic disorder.
Panic disorder, yeah.
What does that mean? Frequent panic attacks?
Panic attacks. But one thing is panic attacks and anxiety attacks are actually two different things. So anxiety attacks is almost everyone has had an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
You just feel nervous.
I think I had one 2-3 years ago, just before COVID happened. I had one. That was my first time. It's just it's a very weird experience. I didn't even know what caused it. It just happened randomly.
Exactly.
And my family were just so confused. We were all in one room, and then it happened. And then for me, I don't know why. I started breathing heavily in and out. Something like that.
Yeah, I feel what you're describing is almost it could have actually been a panic attack.
What do you mean?
But
It
It could have actually been a panic attack.
Yeah.
Because there is a difference. Panic attack is a much more extreme version of an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
It's like
I just thought those two terms are synonymous.
They're not synonymous. That's
Okay.
often a huge misconception.
Yeah.
Anxiety attack is something that generally happens to almost everyone at least once in their life, probably more than that as well. It's simply nerves, really. But panic attacks is your breathing becomes restricted. You start shaking. You start just feeling like you're gonna die. That's the main thing. That's often what everyone says is that feel you genuinely feel like you're gonna die. You feel like you're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
The first time I had a panic attack, I thought it was because I had too much coffee.
Yeah, really.
We called the ambulance and everything came out clear, but I still felt like I was dying.
Like, was there a trigger? Like, you know, there was a trigger. Like, it just happened.
At the time, I didn't think there was a trigger, and then everyone around me, my parents, were saying that it was just exams.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
True.
It's probably exams.
Yeah.
I don't think it was now that I think about it. But now that I've given the context that I have panic disorder,
Yeah.
I realized throughout this journey, throughout this past year, of like where it all began, and I definitely think it was from my childhood. So I feel like my anxiety has always been there, but it's manifested in a different way, and over time it went all the way to panic disorder.
So one of the things we learn in a course in that is like a lot of like illnesses in the future, like, you know, when you're older, is due to like adverse child experiences and stuff like that, because obviously your brain's like what's it called, like it's always reprogramming itself all the time when especially when you're developing as a child, you know, synapses, all that jargon and that in it. So that's I guess that's a point in it, like these kind of experiences affect how your brain you know, remembers them, and as a result, you know, it might translate to as an adulthood. And then that's the thing. And then the thing with mental health, I think, is that people think it's not like, I used to think it's not that deep. Like if you're mentally, just get over it. Like you move on with time. But for some, like, it actually has physiological changes in your head.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I've been the same as well. I think I carried that for a long time, and I think that's why I ended up going into full blown panic attack mode.
Yeah,
it's because I kept suppressing it, and I think most people do until it becomes so bad that it's just really hard to get out of. And only then you truly really understand. But back to childhood.
Yeah.
So my parents got divorced when I was younger.
Yeah.
And just being in a Desi Asian family is just always
South Asians
Asian families is harder.
It's crazy, man.
So that was always like a underlying kind of thing that was hard, but I don't think it was, from what I remember, I don't think it was too hard for me personally, right?
Yeah.
But that
when you're young, does it affect you as much? I don't know.
I don't know. See, I don't know.
I think
I feel like now that I think about it, I think it does. But you just, because you're young and you see the world in a different way, you kind of have to relate it to the things that you know. As a young person, you don't know much.
Yeah.
So everything is just almost numb. But I think you realize the effects afterwards when you grow up and you start to understand the world. And I think that was the case for me. But I think the first time that anxiety kicked into me was when I was in year 3. And out of nowhere, I just had this thing where I've always felt like I couldn't breathe. Yeah. This happened for like about 3 months. I just couldn't feel like I always felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't swallow. I couldn't eat anything. Like I just felt I was gonna die every time I was gonna eat something, and I had to have a water bottle with me. Yeah, it's the one thing I remember.
Water helps a lot, you know.
But it was a and now I know it was a psychological thing, because whenever the water bottle was not with me, I'd like straight away panic. I'd be like, nah, I can't breathe. And at first they thought it was like thyroid came out negative, but eventually that went out of nowhere. It just went, and no one thought about it. I didn't even think about it. No one linked it to mental health, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning when you asked, "What do I think about mental health?" See, everyone thought that was a physical health thing, because you don't expect that from a kid, especially for a kid. You don't expect mental health issues. And the next time, I would say it would be secondary school. I just always had stomach aches. Always, every morning it was, and there were severe stomach aches, like proper cramps and stuff. And I just had to get used to it, and it was my life. I kept going through it, and I just allowed it to happen.
So you talk about school, but did it affect all parts of, like, sleeping, you know, your education, how you with friends and stuff like that?
Yeah, because when we talk about school, when I was in secondary school, like I was just bullied. Yeah, like crazy.
I think everyone has a bullying experience.
Yeah, but I feel like,
but obviously some people have it worse, especially like a smart Danny and
that. Zarev's over there. It's probably like, I don't think Aman understands how, man. He was bullied. No, to be fair, I was bullied pretty badly. Yeah. From the get go. I mean, he bullied me too. I'm not gonna lie. So it was like, because like my parents are divorced, right? Yeah. And I have 2 older sisters and an older brother he's autistic. So I spent most of my life with women around my family. So
same with me, to be fair.
Yeah, but like when I was in secondary school, I was quite feminine.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're an Asian and you go to an all Asian school
Yeah.
and you're anything but a gangster,
yeah.
you know, you immediately you're gonna get bullied. And that was the case for me. And so it just got worse every single year. It went to the extent where the whole school just I felt like no one liked me, and that kicked in. I think all my mental health issues kicked in then as well. I had paranoia, severe self-conscious issues, like, and a huge identity.
That's one thing with school, like, what's it called? I know some people that had such a bad time at school, and it's just sad because like the school doesn't. I don't know. The school doesn't seem to fix. They just think give the geezers who are doing it a detention or isolation. And it carries on and it goes outside of school, and school don't care that much as soon as he goes out of school and stuff like that. And once you're stuck in school, like, it's hard to change your environment. You can't really move out. You can't be like kids. You know how kids are, and kids are just want to have fun, and you know that's part of having the fun. And you know, a lot of them probably regret it when they grow up in like bullying.
For sure. And I think I don't even think they ever realized how bad what they were doing was. But also what you just mentioned is a good point, because actually the amount of times that I used to report the bullying, I specifically remember it was in the end of year 9. And I said it to the teacher, the head of year, and she goes to me, "You always come complaining. It's almost as if you're the problem." And that's the problem. After that day, I never said anything. I just had to like keep going on, just act like it was fine. But I definitely think most of my mental health issues, especially my personality, was definitely shaped by secondary school. I was so subconscious. I mean, to the extent where I didn't want to go to my corner shop, which is like 1 minute. You
just want to go straight home as soon as you finish school.
I just didn't want to go out from my home. I didn't want to go to the corner shop. Because I was just so scared of like, what if someone judges me just based off the school? Because like you said, school is like an environment, right? And when you're in secondary school, you're still young, and I just thought that whatever the school is, that's what the world is, like, right? So if the school hates me, the world hates me.
That's it. So in the last episode we talking about, we read this book in it. Me and Abby read this book. It's called It Ends With Us. I don't know if you read it. I read It Ends With Us. Anyway, there's one point. It's just like it's a fictional book about love and stuff like that. And there's one line that we were talking about last episode as well. It's like cycles. You get stuck in a cycle. So this is what was the school thing as well. You get stuck in a cycle. It's so hard to get out of the cycle. Once you get out of the cycle, you'll feel better. But getting out of the cycle is the hardest part, especially when you go to school. You see this. You literally have to go 5 times a day. You get in trouble if you keep complaining. They're gonna think, oh, you're the problem, blah, blah, all that. So getting out of the cycle is hard, and that's probably what another thing. Like the system isn't supported enough. Like in general, like that's why I say it's invisible, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like everyone goes to school. You go there for education. That's what your parents think. That's what your teachers saying. But they don't. There's a lot more than that. You know,
a lot more than that. And I think also, I think if anyone is watching the podcast and they are in like school or something, like just know school is not like, that's not life. That's not the whole part of life. You know, there's more to it, so much more to it. I think I used to always feel like it was the end of the world in school. The amount of times I feel that way, and now that I think back, I think it was so stupid, because it's just so much. It's genuinely so much stress. But now that I look at it, it was so much unnecessary stress.
Did you like contact with have contact with like Childline and stuff like that?
I mean, we always get those things where you get leaflets. I never contacted Childline. No.
Do you think that would have helped?
I don't think so. I don't think so, honestly.
I find it kind of weird. Like, I think at the point it's like they're like someone they're designed to help you. Like, I don't think maybe like someone you can listen to, but what can they actually? They can't really do much though. That's something.
I think. Well, first of all, I'm not like saying bad towards Childline.
No, I'm not saying it's like.
It's just you got a point. Like, I think from what I'm talking about right now, as in bullying, I don't know if Childline would have done a lot. Because for me, if teachers weren't doing a lot, then I don't know how Childline wouldn't do a lot as well. Also, I think the school that I went to, like the bullies themselves were quite renowned, even like outside of school. They had their background, you know, and gang culture and stuff. So it was always like, you're gonna tell the teacher, they're gonna like shoot
that's
you or
one big problem. So do
you know what I mean?
This is why I want to really leave the UK. You know, gang culture is so big in the UK. Bad. It's so bad. I don't like, one of my goals is to leave the UK, man. I swear down. Because when I want to raise a kid,
let's just do it together.
Come on, let's just go. I want to go like Middle East or something, man. Something nice.
I don't know. Middle East. I don't know.
It's like the UK, but like hot and not.
I feel like you like that because you went to Dubai, right?
Yeah, but Middle East is like even before when Dubai, Middle East is very is so safe though. That's the one thing I'm quite safe. I feel like
from a tourist perspective, I can agree.
No,
with
but
that. I'm not sure if it like as a person living there.
What I mean by like. People say tourist. Why would you go? It's like tourist place, but a tourist place is low-key a good place to live in. Though.
No, for sure. No, but that's what I'm saying to you. I think for from a tourist perspective,
obviously each country has.
It looks good.
Each country has a problem, but if you look at the statistics, like Dubai and these things, they have like one of the lowest. Like you could leave your house unlocked and nothing will happen. If you come to UK, if you go to UK, your house is locked and you still get robbed.
Yeah.
And then, especially with the kids, like I have never like when you hear it, it's like obviously America is like one of the big ones as well. With gang culture. But especially UK is just getting worse. Like kids are growing up like trying to be roadmen and chavs and this.
And that's the thing. That's a good that you're mentioning, because it's like I the guy over there, he went to the same primary school as me, all the way to secondary school. We're like we grew up with people who seem like normal people.
Yeah.
And then you just
allow that.
You just see how they end up just gradually going into this gang culture. But you almost see it almost. And
you get sucked in as well, you know.
But it looks so fake. You could just tell that they're faking it the whole time. You could just tell that that's not them.
Another thing with that is like you see like the demographics of most people in gang culture. They also have like they probably have something to do with like their family problems.
100%.
So that's another thing. Like that's like, you know, the UK doing enough to combat it. Blah blah blah. And like, you know, obviously like once you're in that, it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
Because like.
I think that's what I reflected on, like after my secondary school and my bullying experience. I think I thought about the actual bullies. Not all of them, you know. Some of them were just bang out evil.
This is the problem. People say, like, I wish I could sit here and say, if you're getting bullied, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if you stand up for yourself, yeah, it's good. You should. But at the same time, if you're messing with some next road man or something,
exactly,
and then you can get stabbed. Like,
yeah,
I know. I knew someone called Sidali. He went to my secondary, and then in college he got stabbed.
Yeah,
due to some beef or something like that.
Right,
and he died as a result. So it's just like small things get so escalated so bad. It's sad, man.
But I think it's even worse because like I had no friends.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
This guy here, bro.
No, he was not my friend until like year 11 when you realize, oh, you know what, it's kind of cool. Maybe all the rumors are like lies. Let's not lie. Yeah, someone nearly got stabbed over a pizza and a vape. Yeah, that's like get kicked out.
Thank God he was nearly, fam.
Yeah, but like after that, it was just. It was crazy. Yeah, they targeted him just because he knew that.
What the heck, man? It's crazy. It's not even a funny thing. It's just so peak. It's just,
I know, but it's like
people carrying knives and stuff like this, man.
It goes crazy, but yeah. So I think psychologically, when we're linking it to mental health, I think it definitely shaped my personality. I was definitely self-conscious. The paranoia was incredible, and I always had this. I kept wanting to change who I was. I kept wanting to look different. Whether like I grew my hair out or even till now, I do that now.
This side note, the last year I sort of been reinventing myself every month, fam. My outfits change. Like right now, I'm on my new phase of more black
phases. But like that's the thing, because for me, I just didn't know who I was, and even I'm not gonna lie, even till now, I still don't know who I am.
I think no one really knows who they are, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's more complex. Like even when I'm talking to this mic right now, I'm like, am I speaking the way that I'm naturally?
Yeah, there's a camera in front of you.
Is my voice naturally deeper? Or
it was so deep.
Is it?
But you have a natural deep voice.
But it can be deep, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I'm always like, what is really me?
Yeah.
And that links into like what I'm next diagnosed with, which is borderline personality disorder.
Yeah. Do you have that?
I have borderline personality disorder.
So
do you know what borderline personality disorder is? Okay.
Is it OCD? I don't know, man.
No, borderline
OCD. So stupid.
OCD
is so stupid.
So different. See, this is what the podcast is for.
Yeah.
Educating you. Borderline personality disorder is very similar to bipolar disorder, except there are differences. So borderline personality
with
disorder.
Bipolar, like, I think some of my family members have bipolar, fam. Slow it down. But like, is bipolar like just getting mad mood swings?
Yeah. It's basically mood swings. Because we're basing this down, like we're making it very basic.
Like as friends, like with especially in football, I swear half the people who play football have they act like we say it's like you act bipolar. That's what I mean. Like
right, that
when you say in a casual term like bipolar, you assume these men just go good and bad, and like certain people. The other day, man, Jesus, they're in the corner.
I think that's something that you gotta like be careful with as well, because like bipolar is a real big disorder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It really messes up people's lives as well.
Yeah.
So just saying like casually, let people say that, oh, I feel depressed. I don't know if you feel depressed. You know,
listen, this is one thing I don't rate Piers Morgan. I don't like that guy.
Right.
He just
where is this going?
Listen, this guy. But this is one thing. Like he said something. Like he said, I feel depressed, and he said this is the one thing I like. Every controversial thing he said, this is the one thing I actually agree with. And he said, what's it called? A lot of people say they're depressed, but they're not actually just normal life things that everyone experiences. They think they're depressed over, and that stops the people who actually need help with depression getting the access they need quicker. Like if you break up with someone, or I don't know, you failed something, and people say, "Oh, I'm depressed," and you feel sad about it. This is just a normal thing in life. Obviously, you're allowed to feel the way you want to feel, but But depression is this is a problem as well. Depression is especially with mental health, it's like invisible. People think it's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to characterize. It's hard to put into a group. And there's the stuff that's like the clinical depression is like just general everyday depression. And that's one thing like you like that's what you said. Like I feel depressed, blah blah blah.
Right.
That's what I just want something to say. But that's what I mean. Like a lot of depression, like you might be experiencing something in your normal day-to-day life, which everyone experiences, and you have to just grow. You grow out of it after a few days.
That's just natural feelings. Yeah, you're just sad. You're sad. Yeah, and that's normal. That's perfectly normal and perfectly natural. But depression is completely different.
Yeah.
Depression is like that loss of faith. You just don't.
That lack of hope.
You lose the will to live.
Yeah,
that's depression. It affects your everyday. It's not something that you have for a moment and then you're on okay afterwards. Like, this affects you every single day, and there are so many traits attached to it as well.
Yeah,
I've actually forgotten what we were talking about because he cut me off.
Sorry,
but we were talking about school, right?
Yeah.
But like,
stabbing or something. Like
Stabbings. No. Okay, so it shaped my personality. It went back.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Borderline personality disorder.
Borderline personality disorder. Yeah, exactly. So borderline personality disorder. Yeah. We went so far off. It's kind of a good thing to be fair. Borderline personality disorder. I'll tell you the things that affect me. Linked to it.
So, what is it like first though?
It's basically this. Almost like we have personality, right? We have a personality. And borderline personality disorder is this kind of rift in that. It's where you don't really know where you fit in, and then you question everything around you. So it's almost like, when you have a personality disorder, the problem is with your personality, essentially the way that you interact with people and the way your thought process is, right? When you have a borderline personality disorder, the problem is the fact that you don't know how to do any of these things, and you just everything is just confusing to you, and you have a lot of trust issues.
And this stems from like childhood experiences. Like
a lot of borderline personality disorder does stem from childhood, but it links to the fact that 100%, because then you have the trust issues, which again link to childhood traumas, and just your thought process, your thought patterns is completely different. I mean, one thing is like the guy over there.
The guy over there.
We're just gonna bring him
the guy over there.
But it's like, for example, he's my best friend, right?
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he's blushing. Gee, out of nowhere, I'll just like, if I was to think that he hates me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's my thought, right? Do you hate me? But then afterwards, I'd forget that was a thought.
Yeah.
And my mind would immediately think that was a real thing.
Yeah.
And I would treat my interaction with him would completely change. My body language, everything about me would change, because I'd seriously perceive the fact that he'd hate me.
Yeah.
And it's just things like that, and it links to again to my personality always changing. I just never know who I am, and even till now, like I still, I mean, now my head's shaved. Like
you had long hair. When I met this guy, I had long hair.
I had Jesus hair.
Yeah.
And so like, and now I want Jesus hair again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just don't know what I am. But again, these things, right?
But then this contributes like you being very creative, like your Instagram, your hobbies. You want to do like cinematography, and like your pictures are very aesthetic, in it.
Yeah.
Like, they have the little effects, the poses, the shadows, all that. So I like that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not as deep as you.
And I was just gonna link it because like you mentioned a couple of things about yourself, like this is how you are, like you like to change clothes, outfits, and everything.
But I don't know if that's to do with. But I like just, I don't know.
Exactly. But see, it doesn't mean necessarily that you have a mental disorder or anything, right? And that's why it's always so hard to diagnose these things.
Yeah.
Because it depends on how extreme it is, and often people don't really speak out. And that's the thing. It's about the actual person who's struggling for them to speak out. Because if they don't speak out, then no one necessarily knows. Like, you just cannot tell that someone is struggling until the really last moment where it's a full-on breakdown, and it's just really hard to treat. So it's best to treat it when it's less.
The thing is, one of the things, especially when last year, I used to like the way I dressed, the way I moved, is just like a normal guy. Like, not normal, like just, I think like you try to fit to everyone else. Like everyone want this guy. I used to like, what's it called? Like, I used to think like paint splattered jeans cool. Like what people have worn, like paint splattered jeans or Air Forces. I don't know, and like like a Armani sweatshirt or something like that. Innit?
Yeah.
That's how I would like try to dress it, or like dress as. And then over the last year, I was like, I want to do something different.
Right.
So I've started dressing, like, wanted to make my pictures all different, like before, with all the tech, like in like the vintage things, blah blah blah, make it cool. baggy stuff. I wore some controversial outfits, man. Oh my god, the
like
blazer
them.
with the tote bag.
Ooh,
Okay,
I know about. No, actually, do you know what? I think I liked
Manchester
it.
one. You know the one
I think I
walking
liked
the
it.
blazer. You know the blazer.
Is it the lilac blazer?
No, it's a beige blazer,
Right.
like a light green trousers.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
And Jordans, and then the beanie.
Were you in Trafford Centre?
Yeah,
yeah,
that one down.
I actually
I
didn't mind that
really like
one.
that outfit. It's like a really bougie outfit.
I like
but it's
it.
very controversial. But it's very like if I walk around Birmingham, I get stabbed.
Well, of course, but that's the thing. It's controversial because like
it's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
But it was you liked it, right? And that's the thing you need to stick to.
Someone's calling.
Sorry, it's my sister. Let me just block her. But yeah, so. But that's the thing. Like I can say the same thing as well. Like I think that I improved so much. When I left the secondary school and went to college, that was my moment. Like I was gonna shine. You know what I mean? And again the same thing though. But I think I was so scared about people perceiving me badly again that I just wanted to do.
So that's one thing. I said I know the way I'm gonna dress now, the way I'm gonna do things. People are not gonna like it. They're gonna everyone's when people don't like it when people do something different to you. There's a quote, some fake Joker quote or something like that. It's like, people laugh at me because I'm different, but I laugh at them because they're all the same, which is a very powerful quote.
A very powerful quote. Yeah.
I think a lot of like people not being themselves comes from that as well, because they want to fit in, they want to be like everyone else, like fit in. You know, I said probably fitting in it.
Right.
So, you know, I just think I always say like whenever we walk around, like yesterday we're in the car going to football. And I was just like, I was seeing how everyone's just dressed, man. Like, I shouldn't be judging people, but like, I'm just like, people are just like tracksuits, like an Armani party. Yeah. Everyone is no flavor to anyone, man. I swear.
Yeah. And I see, when I think about it, in secondary school, it sounds really weird. I really wanted to look like my bullies.
Really?
Like I just wanted to look like
fit
them.
in.
I just want to act like them. Every time I'd see a new one, I'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna copy their aesthetic and everything like that. And it was just, it's never myself. And I think that also links to the fact that I just never knew who I was because I kept mimicking other people.
Yeah.
And that till this day, that's the thing. Whoever I'm speaking to, I always mimic them. Yeah. Their body language, the way that they're speaking, sometimes like their accent, which doesn't necessarily go right, especially when they're an ethnic person. If they're an ethnic person, like please just don't talk to me.
Listening back to this podcast makes you cringe so bad. My voice sounds so bad.
My voice is really
your
bad.
voice good. You have
but
a nice
you know what?
podcast.
I'm trying to no.
I speak too fast.
I feel like I speak too fast.
No, but you're clear though. When I hear back, I'm like blah, 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 blah. I swear down. Man.
No, I feel like that's the thing.
We'll find out after the wedding. We'll find out.
But this is a good tester for me as well because I'm so self-conscious as a person. I've got a camera to my face and I hate my voice.
At first, oh my god, it's so awkward. It's a bit bad because I'm just there and he's just chilling in the.
No, but I genuinely think I'm the most hideous person in the world.
Relax, man. Exactly. You're a good-looking guy. Man. Relax.
See, I want to believe it. I'm gonna believe it. But I just having the camera to my face and even having the mic to my face just gives me anxiety. But we're shooting through it. So yeah. Have you got any questions for me? Or should I carry on speaking?
Carry on speaking.
Okay. Yeah. So
okay. Go on. Coping mechanisms then.
Coping mechanisms.
I follow you on Twitter and especially on Instagram as well. You post all these like poems that you write on Twitter. So this is one thing. So when I was depressed over like just trivial things, I wanted to do a lot was like post about it. Right. Like make I feel as if I want people to feel sorry for me, like I did on TikTok and Twitter. And that's one thing. It's like people will say. My friend said this to me. He's like, "Are you depressed, or do you just want people? Do you just want people to feel sorry for you? Because if you're depressed, why would you post about it? Shouldn't you like deal with it? So, but that's something you try to like. I don't. You romanticize it.
Also, your answer. Why can't it be both?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what.
Why can't you be depressed and want people?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing, isn't it?
I think there's a lot of things. First of all, and when I was in secondary school and I had a full-on Instagram account dedicated to like really sad quotes. And it was really depressing. I had like 2 likes.
I swear, my feed was just at one point just so much depressing thoughts. Well, I just blocked every single account, and they still come.
But exactly. But and at that time, I think when I look back, I think I thought maybe I was doing it for attention, whatever. But I think I was sad, but I wasn't as sad as I was now, really. Just because.
But I don't think it's not a bad thing to get attention. The humans want like you need people around you.
And when I think I said I got diagnosed with panic disorder last year. I got diagnosed with panic disorder 2 years ago. Actually. And since then I was going on this self-care journey. And like you said, I posted on Twitter and Instagram. The funny thing is, Twitter, when I post something on Twitter, it's usually when I'm actually having a breakdown. It's usually when I'm really genuinely depressed and I'm like, I gotta write something.
Do you know when I did it back in the day, I was like, in the moment, if you go, then the next day morning, I was like, oh no, why have I posted this?
But you do feel like that. I do that as well. Yeah, but I Twitter is like where I write something really deep, and the next day exactly the same thing. I just end up deleting it.
But sometimes you need to write stuff down to get out of your mind.
Of course. But like but with Instagram, I've posted a couple of like things. I always like post on my story about mental health, but I actually have a specific post about my panic disorder that I did. You've seen it. I think that's how you realize that I had like mental health issues. And it was just explaining what panic disorder was, how it affects me, what my triggers are, and what people can do. And I think I don't have a lot of followers, and this was just for my friends.
Exactly. Right? It's like you have a small account as well.
And I think at that time when I posted it, and even till now, I did not care if anyone thought I was attention seeking, because of course people are going to think that. But the real ones are going to think, okay, maybe there is something here. I need to I'm going to read this and I'm going to see what the problem is, right? And two things happened. One thing happened is that people actually read it, understood it, and they treated me as if I'm still a normal person, because that was one worry about me. Like I thought people are gonna feel so sorry for me that they're gonna treat me differently, or they're just gonna avoid me. That didn't happen. And the second thing was I had like so many people, even people that are mutual friends, that messaged me that I'm not too close to, that was like, I'm going through this stuff. Like this is what I'm going through. Like I'm being considered to do therapy. I'm being considered to go on to this.
It's not medication. You, someone else.
Yeah. That's good. That's
good.
On my phone.
Support networks are good because when you're with people that you relate to, it's easier to talk about it.
Exactly.
Compared to someone who doesn't. Maybe they'll hear you out. Maybe they'll never be in your same shoes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it was a big thing because, again, mental health is not talked about a lot. And I think for these lot, they just wanted someone to have the same experiences, who live the same life as them, to then come out about it. But even as a male, right, it's huge speaking about mental health. Because there is this toxic masculine idea where you just,
very big stigma.
You can't be like, you can't go through mental health issues, man. If you've got a mental health issue, it has to be aggression. Like other than that, there's nothing masculine about mental health. And when I did that, I had a couple of lads like just message me like, this is what I'm going through. Even till this day, I get it every now and then from friends I've had for a long time. They just they find it easy to speak to someone that knows what it's like. And like one of them as well was asking like, yo, I'm getting on this medication. I don't know if it's a good idea and stuff like that. And it's just, I genuinely think if you're going through something, you should at least tell your friends. And you, the first thing you should always do is accept it for yourself. Like
acceptance is one of the key things.
Acceptance is the main thing. Because if you keep denying it, like I was doing for a long time, I kept rejecting. I was like, no, I want to be normal. Because for me, being diagnosed with something meant that, yes, after all these years, what everyone used to say is true, I am not normal. But when I actually got diagnosed, I realized, you know what, like this is actually giving me a meaning to my life, because now I know that this is a problem. I know I'm gonna have to how to fix it. You know what I mean? And
but going on that point, you say like like you run an account for like depressing quotes and all that kind of stuff. How do you think that affects? I'm in the opinion like that's why I blocked all these accounts. Like if it comes up, it's gonna keep reminding you. That's the problem with social media. And social media, like TikTok, it's very for you. Like it doesn't make sense how it does it, but it does it, and it just keeps sending you stuff that you kind of relate to you, and then it makes you relate to it, and you think about it more, and then you surround yourself in this negative zone. But at the same time, if you get surrounded to it, you eventually get numb to it.
Oh, for 100%, yeah.
So like it's like that point, like you feel all the pain straight away, or like you just try to ignore it, and then
it just pops out.
If it pops out of nowhere, then there's a problem. So dealing with that,
because that's true. Because like for me, when I was in college, I had the best time of my life, and I thought all my life is coming together. That literally.
Did Zari go to your college?
Zari went to a college. Yeah, that's why he just came forward. Yeah, no, but
cringing in the background.
It was the best time of my life, man. I used to wear like 5 suits a day, different suits.
Oh, you got to wear suits.
Like
you guys are lucky, man.
I used to wear suits. I had so many suits. I was just known for having so many looks.
I had to wear a dumb school uniform, man. Yeah, it's so annoying, man.
Yeah.
Blue blazer, red
but you made it into medicine, so Alhamdulillah. But yeah, so it was cool. Yeah, sixth form was amazing. It was the best time of my life, and ironically, that's it was towards when the pandemic started. Can we even say that word here? Are we gonna get monetized?
Pandemic?
Yeah,
obviously.
Are you sure? What are you gonna put on YouTube? I thought YouTube's gonna be like, oh, I can't be using that word.
You can use pandemic, bro.
I don't know.
Pandemic, what the hell? It's like a swimming.
I was telling you, I'm watching podcasts.
Yeah.
And they're just like scared to use that word, so I just thought maybe we should be scared of the word.
I don't think it's good.
Anyways,
it's just a pandemic.
So when that happened, the exams. Yeah, we're not going to give no health advice.
We're not authorized health advice.
Yeah. Also, that make good point, because also mental health wise, we're not giving
disclaimer.
Advice.
We're not professionals.
Yeah, we're not professionals. We're just discussing our own experiences.
You don't want to hear it from a profession. You want to hear it from people who experience it day to day.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so when the pandemic happened and it was exam season, or it was actually mock exams, so we had not known if the A levels was going to get cancelled or not. That's when I had my first panic attack, and my life just changed. Like after that first panic attack, I just kept having panic attacks after panic attacks, and it was so annoying because my life was coming together. I was like, what is happening?
This is a problem because the way education is structured, if you mess up, you can think that you're left behind or stuff like that, and it's like something that it's hard to put, like, especially mental health. It's hard to put mental health into like you can't say I got cancer. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you got cancer, you get they give you like stuff, and right. Compared to like, mental health, they say, oh, just normal. Blah, blah,
and also when it's your first time experiencing it, and then you say, oh, this is what happened to me. We need proof. They need proof. But then you're just there like, bro, I'm not diagnosed with anything. Yeah. Things is just happening to me. That's all I can decide.
I don't think there's a mad waiting list for like mental health as well.
Oh, 100%. We'll get to that.
So you can't like even use it like as a professional thing.
Oh no, 100%.
Because you have to wait.
You can't. Even to this day, like I'm diagnosed with panic disorder officially. I'm in the talks of being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I am yet to I'm waiting for a psychologist, which I've been waiting around 6 months for. I was told when I was getting it I was going to be waiting 2 weeks, so big difference. 6 months and 2 weeks to get diagnosed for PTSD. But again, it's just hard because, like, for example, when you're in university and you miss the exam or whatever, you need proof that what you were going through. Thank God I am diagnosed with panic disorder, so I can actually say, yo, I've got panic disorder. This is what happened. But the other things I can't use because I'm not officially diagnosed with them. That's why it is really hard to do anything with that. But after I had my first panic attack, I just went panic attack after panic attack, and it went so far to I was having like 7 panic attacks a day. I couldn't even move. Like it would drain me. I couldn't even move. I was just like, this is. And the saddest thing is, I fully accepted that this was gonna be my life now. Like I was just like, that's it. This is my life. For the rest of my life, this is how I'm gonna be. I went everywhere. I was so anxious at home. I didn't want to be at home anymore. I had so much childhood trauma about like the house and abusive relationships and stuff, and I just didn't want to be at home. And then I wanted to
somebody you associate like something
to environment. Everything just gave me anxiety. Loud noises gave me anxiety. Just my mind gave me anxiety. Silence gave me anxiety. I just was never I could never rest. And then I even went to my sister's house in Manchester. I spent 6 months there, most of my first year of uni. So this is while I get into uni as well. This whole thing, I'm going through the struggle, but I have to carry on living my life because there's no time to break. I can't break down. I have to go uni. I have to go outside. I have to do go to my lectures. I got to do all these things, and
and that's a problem with living in the UK and just in the modern world. Like there's so much pressure on everything you have to do. You have to be working. You have to be revise all this. Like exactly. You never really have time for like yourself. It's just such a fast pace. If you don't do anything, you're getting left behind. So it's like
and as a Desi boy myself, like,
a lot of pressure on this. Like,
love my mom, love my dad, love them, but getting into uni was a pressure in itself. I always had to do good in my exams. You'd obviously know the same thing. And being in first year, like I was going through all of this stuff, and bless my mom, she did all she can, but she would still be like, you've got to go uni. You got to get up, you got to do this, you got to do that. And in somewhat way, it kind of allows you to carry on with your life, but it was just so hard because it was like there was a lack of understanding. They also didn't understand what was going on. But it's really sad as well because I feel like for Desi parents, there is this idea that
when you say Desi, I say Desi.
Desi.
You say Desi.
When there's this idea that if your child is going through something mental health related, right? Like somehow you are to blame, and there's almost that guilt, and so there is that fear that I don't want my child to be diagnosed with anything. I don't want my child to say that he's depressed because that's almost an insult to my parenthood. And it's not necessarily that they're thinking selfishly. It's just they think that they're failing, right? And that comes back to you because it makes you feel bad. And
were your parents immigrants here? Like first,
my dad was born here.
So that's the thing. I think especially first generation like us, obviously, like the vast majority, like, South Asians and stuff like that in the UK, they're not educated as much.
Yeah.
As, no, but that's when you get educated by it, then you're more understanding. But that's the thing, they don't.
True, but it was a really weird one with my mom, because my mom is quite educated.
Yeah.
And she's really forward thinking.
But the truth, there's not as much education on mental health.
But also, I think it's like, when it comes to, if it was anyone else's kid, she would have given them the best advice.
Yeah.
But I think because it's her own,
competitiveness.
Like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong? And so it was just really hard. Even home was hard. I could not feel safe anywhere. And it was like 8 months in to just having panic attacks every single day. Had to have like therapy. There's this thing called Birmingham Healthy Minds. So if you're in Birmingham, you know what that is. And you go to Birmingham Healthy Minds is something you often get referred to when you're a teenager.
It's like a support group, basically.
When you go to the GP, they often refer it to you. It's
support group.
It's not. It's online kind of counseling or CBT. So I did both. CBT is online. Basically,
I don't know
it's uncalled now because of COVID.
Okay.
But it's CBT is cognitive behavior therapy.
Yeah.
And then there's counseling, right? I did both. In my opinion, and listen, I think anyone should try doing whatever they can. But for me personally, Birmingham Healthy Minds was not the one. Not the one for me. For me, it was all so robotic. I think I'm a very critical thinker.
That's one thing, like, all these things have structure to them, like like robotic. It's like a framework, and sometimes you just want someone. You just want a human. You just want to.
Yeah, exactly.
You just get to approach them. You don't want to say, I apply for this, and I got referred to this, and I do this, then I talk to him, then we appointment on this day. You just want someone that comes along, and as a human.
And I'm a critical thinker, and I like stats as well. I like the facts and everything. But with this, it was so robotic. I just felt like every single word they were gonna say, I kind of knew where it was gonna go. I knew what they were going to say. I could have Googled what they were saying, essentially.
And that's the problem. We don't want to promote, like, use Google to find out your stuff.
No, for sure not.
Google has a lot of...
But what I'm trying to say is the way that everything was formulated to me, the way that they would speak to me, the whole thing just felt so inhuman.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like I was speaking to a book, So that didn't work for me. But then it went crazy. I couldn't leave the house.
Yeah.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't move because I was so drained. So then the doctor had advised me about medicine. So one specific one called sertraline, which is quite common. It's basically an SSRR. I'm not sure what the actual thing is now. It's a serotonin inhibitor.
Oh yeah.
You should know this.
Serotonin, man, like
serotonin inhibitor something.
I don't know.
SSRI, I think it is.
I
Anyways, what it does is it basically boosts your serotonin levels.
Yeah.
Basically, it's for people.
Intravasive.
When someone suffers with depression, their chemical levels are often really imbalanced as well. So this kind of balances it out. And I was offered it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take it because I need my life to go on, right? I can't stay in this same place for a long time.
So is this your first medication?
This is my first medication. And it's the one that I stay with. So I started with 25 milligrams. But again, when I was going to start, my mom was like, no.
Yeah.
Mom was like, you can get diagnosed. You can just like go for counseling, go out. But like, you're not taking medication because there was just this huge stigma. My mom kept telling me like, this medication is going to make you mad. It's going to make you mental. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. You're not going to have a long life or whatever. And I kind of found it really I think it's hypocritical, but it was not my mom. It was like literally every Asian person that I met just kept telling me don't take tablets for mental health. Even my aunt who has bipolar, who takes medication, she herself was like, don't take it.
Yeah.
And I think
maybe it's a problem with like dependencies. Like you might get withdrawals.
Oh, but there is that, and that's not a lie. And I get huge withdrawals if I ever stop taking them now as well. But that's something that you have to think about, right? It's like, when someone suffers from diabetes, you don't think twice about giving them an insulin injection, right? When they're going through heart problems, like, you give them statins, you give them all that stuff.
But the difference between like a diabetes is like, you have to give them like, there's no, they won't, if they get a withdrawal, then you just die.
Exactly. Yeah, but
at the same time,
that's the same thing with mental health.
So
because if you don't carry on, you're gonna die. You are gonna die. And so that was the thing. I think that was my first step actually of kind of becoming myself, really, is because while everyone else was telling me not to take them, I was like, no, you know what, I'm gonna take them for myself. not because
someone
you guys are advising me to. I'm gonna take this for myself.
It's one thing like people understand, like especially with South Asians, it's your life.
100%.
Not like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you're older, you kind of tend to realize that. But sometimes people go a bit too on the rebellious route.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I took the medication. I was on 25 milligrams. You know, over time, stuff happened, and I went all. And now I'm on 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but there are different reasons for it. The medication itself, yeah, I had side effects. Yeah, it helped. It helped. Till now.
Are you still on it till this day?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't had a panic attack in a year now.
Okay, that's good.
Which is huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Incredible. I didn't think I was gonna live a life. I think I've messaged him. I've probably got a message or plenty of them that I've said this is gonna be my life.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna live a life without a panic attack. So it's big. It worked out, but yeah, there was side effects. In the first 2 weeks of me on them, I just had a lot of stomach pain, headaches. I think I was just really anxious. I think the first week, actually my panic attacks amplified. And sleep was a hard thing, but over time that kind of went.
How was your sleep? That's something.
That was an interesting because
my sleep is so bad right now.
You mentioned that before. So over the past few years, my sleep has been bad in the sense that I've been like undersleeping, and I think I've suffered from really bad insomnia. I don't think.
Do you have panic attacks when you're sleeping, like trying to go to sleep or stuff like that?
I used to, but not now. Okay. But the insomnia that I used to have is like, I don't think people realize what after I've had that insomnia, I don't think people realize what real insomnia is. Like that was like intense. I don't even feel tired. You just mentally you're like, I want to go to sleep. Yeah. And you're just so not into it. Like your whole body just not.
But I feel like a lot of people have like, I just think it's a general thing, especially me. I mean, I want to go to sleep. I'm just rolling around, and next thing you know, it's 2:00 and I'm still have to sit up.
It's like,
it's so annoying.
Yeah. But funny enough, when I was in secondary school, my defense mechanism was sleeping. Yeah, I overslept all the time. My maths class was actually in school. I used to sleep in maths, and my teacher got used to it. He just I literally sat right next to him, and he would just allow me to sleep the whole time. But when I come back to school, I would sleep, and I have specific memories, like even my 15th birthday. I think I got bullied on that day, and I came home, and I just feel so sad when I think about it because it's like my mom had made all my favorite food and everything, and then someone else. She had such a fat smile on her face. She was like, "Yo, like I made all this, like come let's eat now." And I even remember the way that I even said it. I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. I'll do this later, whatever." And I could just see her smile drop, and then I just went to bed, and I went throughout the whole day. This was after school, so it's like 4:00, and I just woke up the next day. So, and that's another point. How do you think it affects your ability to make friendships and relationships? I think in secondary school times, I just thought everyone hated me, and I was just not myself. So everything about me was fake, and I couldn't obviously when everything is fake, you can't keep it on for too long. So I never really sustained friendships in secondary school. Zaria was my friend in primary school. Zaria actually came to this country.
Can you see him from me? I can see him just smiling.
I never can see him. I actually introduced him to this world. No, as in he came. No, as in he came to this country, and I introduced him. Oh yeah, Zaria's from Pakistan. Zaria's from Pakistan. Yeah, she's a true Desai. Yeah. So I introduced him to like. The world.
He's a snake. He wants to go back to Pakistan. He's a snake.
Let him go. Yeah, I gave him a tour
now. Yeah. But so he's like your first friend you made.
So no. I was his first friend. He was not my first friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just get.
How did you said like it's hard to talk to people, like you didn't like the environment. How did you improve your mental health, and like how did you deal with it?
Yeah.
Let's forget about the you hid from his sleeping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what did you do anything that made it feel better?
I think.
And how did you get to the point now? How would you describe your mental health now, and how did you get to the point?
I truly wanted to change.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I advise anyone. If you want to know how to work on yourself, you have to first accept what is going on with you, and you have to truly want to change it. It's not gonna work if you don't actually want to do it. And if you're suffering from depression, which is linked to all of the mental health, really, if you're suffering from it, I know how it's so hard to get out of it. It's almost like it's your comfort blanket. You don't want to ever leave. And when you're trying to work on yourself, often you'll end up doing things which are actually harmful for you. You know, I've done some stupid things this year, which is ironic because this is the year that I've grown so much. But it's because it's depression. Kind of when you're depressed for so long, you eventually kind of think this is my normal now. So anything, even a good memory that you make, it's just it gives you anxiety. I remember I used to go out with my friends, and as soon as you come home, I just had panic attacks. Even though I had such a great day, I just had panic attacks. I was like, bro, I don't deserve to be happy. It was like that was installed in my head. Like I don't deserve to be happy. Why am I need to remain sad? I need to remain in my room, like doing nothing. That's where I'm comfortable at because that's where my mind was comfortable at. But I think you have to tell yourself that like I'm gonna be okay. You gotta be less harsh on yourself. You know, everyone is hot. You are your worst enemy, but like you've gotta be less hot.
Was there a point like what inspired? Was there advice, a single piece of advice that helped you do that, or something you learned, or something that happened that made you, you know what, one day say, you know what, I want to change this?
I think I met a couple of people who had gone through very similar things as me. You know,
were they going through at the time, or did they go over it?
No. They certain abusive relationships and stuff like that, and they were much older, and I saw how badly they were. They were really bad. Bless them. You know, they had lost everything. They were in their 40s, and I saw them. I honestly, it just when I saw them, I just thought, I sounds bad, but I was like, I don't want to be like that. You know, bless them, but I don't want to be like that. I need to try everything that I have. So, you know, I carried on with looking for different therapists, and therapies are, you know, if you have the money, it's easier. If you don't and you go through the NHS route, you know, just try your best because it's not necessarily the best. You know, they don't give the best things. But like, I did it through a charity. I got therapy through a charity which was free. I did wait 11 months. Which was a long time, but
big problem.
I finished it about 3 months ago. I finished my therapy, and that was mutually decided that we were going to finish it because they had felt like I had gone.
They felt, or did you feel like that?
Both of us. Okay. I genuinely felt that it was such a big difference. It was I think we did around 14 courses together, and towards the end, I was just thinking about how my personality has changed, and it made me realize that actually, and this is for anyone who's going through depression, like you don't know your personality until you're finally like feeling free. Throughout that time, I could just see certain things unveiling. I could see my confidence going up. I can just I was starting to love myself a bit more. Like so many little things, and they gradually everything changed, and I was a whole new person. And I kind of realized that actually this is me all along. This is who I always wanted to be, but this is who I always was. But it was just always suppressed by every other person's bull. I want to stop it as that. But yeah, I think that changed my life. Just accepting and just realizing that, you know what, I need to change, and I need to do this for myself. And once you start doing things for yourself, it makes a big difference.
And even even if you don't have depression, even if just normal, you should always go out of your comfort zone. Because you need to try new things. I was in my comfort zone, and so try new things, like stuff you never thought you'd like. You start liking, blah blah blah.
But also do things for yourself. Don't do things because other people are telling you what to do. Like all my boys, when I was telling them that I was depressed, all my boys were like, "Bro, join gym. Your life's gonna be sorted." And then I had like some friends where like they had TikTok accounts, right? And they just like post stuff about mental health and them doing deadlifts. And
those ones.
It's one of them ones. And I tried to go gym, and I was like, this is not me, man. I used to go gym and I used to have a panic attack. I have like I go gym now, but like when I go gym, I just think about how I used to have panic attack just lifting a dumbbell. So I was like, bro, this is not working out for me. But that's the thing, like everyone has their own specific thing. You need to find it, but you need to keep trying. And another thing is like you won't be fine straight away. I'm not lying. I'm not perfectly fine, but I'm not bad.
No, who is perfectly fine though? You know.
No, but exactly. But I'm not bad. That's the main thing that you need to focus on. You know, I'm not a mess. I sometimes I feel like a mess. Sometimes I have really bad days. Bad days are normal. Bad days are okay. They're gonna happen. You can't appreciate the good days if you don't have bad days.
One of the things I'm trying to promote in my life is stop focusing on the negative things in life. Because if you can always find negatives in anything. If you need to start people, you could have 100 good things happening in your day and one bad thing.
Exactly.
But you should just alhamdulillah, be grateful for all the little small things, good things that happened.
Yeah.
And obviously you can feel down with a little negative thing, but try to focus on the positives. It's literally everything has a positive. If you fail the exam, the positives you learned a lesson.
Right.
If you did,
Yeah, and also that's one thing as well, because when you talk about exams and stuff, like everyone thinks that there's always one way to do things. Everyone has a structure, like this is what I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this.
Comparison is a theft.
It's a theft, but it's also there is not always one way. There are other ways to do it.
I mean, thief, by the way, not theft.
Theft, yeah, but I just decided to emphasize that I said theft. There is not only one way to do something. There are more than one
so
ways.
many different ways.
And I think once you realize that, your anxiety goes down, because then you think, okay, something didn't go right now. Yeah, I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna get the destination is there.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's a big?
I just need to find the route.
Yeah. So your destination, you might have the same destination to someone, but the journey is always different for anyone.
Journey is always
different. That's okay. That's another thing that might contribute, because you might say, oh, this person counseling. Everyone says counseling works. You do it doesn't work. And you're like, oh no, something's actually even worse than me. Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like as a doctor, like you go straight into medicine, or you could do biomedicine, which every medical student just like decides to tell them that they're really bad students or whatever. But then they ended up being doctors.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, you're both doctors,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So like what's one most important piece of advice you've ever had then? With one piece of advice you give to everyone, what's the most important one?
I think I would say there's a lot, but I would say
it doesn't even have to be advice, like it's really just like
I'm gonna say time waits for no one.
Yeah.
Time waits for no one. So just
you can sit there feeling sorry for yourself. You can go up there and beat the bully, but at the same time, you can feel like you should be able to feel sorry for yourself.
But it's about the fact that
it's for how long you do it for.
Yeah, and also there's this thing called I can give you one. If you want to research this, I highly advise this. There's a thing called the window of tolerance. It's basically when you're in the window of tolerance. Let's just imagine there's a box here.
Yeah.
Guys, can you see this? Box here. Yeah. There's a box.
Okay.
And when you're in the box, that's where you belong. That's your home. Like that's where you're thriving mentally, physically, everything, right? When you go above it, it's the hypoactive, I'm gonna say.
Above hyper.
We'll say hyper.
Smaller,
Okay. Hyperactive.
Yeah.
And that's when you have your anxiety, you have your mood swings, you're incredibly emotional, you're just like you're having panic attacks, all of that, and then you kind of gradually go back into your window, box, right?
Yeah.
So you feel at home, and then you go into the hypo.
Yeah.
This is when you're always sleepy. This is when you're depressed.
I'm always sleepy, man.
Yeah. When you're emotionless, when you're feeling numb.
I'm emotionless as well.
And then you go back into the window of tolerance, and then you keep going on this loop. You keep going on this loop, and that's why people don't understand. They think that you either have anxiety and depression. It doesn't make sense how they can go hand in hand, because depression is like feeling sad and feeling numb and not being able to do anything, not wanting to do anything. Anxiety is jittering and like being like hysterical and just high heart rate, whereas depression is like low heart rate, right?
Yeah.
But it does go hand in hand because of that window of tolerance, and your main goal is to find the route back to home, back to that window of tolerance. That thing helped me a lot when I was going through these swings of hypoactivity and hyper the other way around. I kept reminding myself that okay, this is what stage I'm at right now. So I know that if I don't kind of bring myself back, if I don't do something for it, I'm gonna go into the other stage, right? And that helped me a lot. Gradually, you start to increase your window of tolerance, and that helped me. I think you should research window of tolerance. It's a very big thing, but yeah.
This is one big quote that went really viral from a clip from Freshly Grounded. I don't know if you watched that podcast. No. It's this one. He was like, it's a story of the boy and the horse, and it ran really viral. It got millions.
Yeah. I love that story.
Do you know what it is?
I love the story of the boy and the horse.
So it's like, can I ask? You say it then?
No, you can't put me on the spot. No, you're gonna say it.
So it says like the boy is with the horse, and the boy's like, I can't see. It's like in the dark. He says, I can't see my way out.
Right.
And how are we gonna get out? And the host goes or something. Can you see your next step? And he goes. The boy says yes. Then to take it. So basically trying to say just, you know.
Okay, it's not the same story.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it could be a different story once again.
Oh, so you just make. Obviously, sometimes you might not see the end goal. You might think, "Oh, I'm stuck here," but the main thing is you have to do is just take the plunge.
Yeah, you've got to do something because
even if it doesn't work,
it's still at one point depression puts you in one place, and it doesn't let your life move. That's how I felt like. I felt like I couldn't. My life was being still. My life was still. It wasn't moving. Still. My life was static. Yeah, it wasn't moving, and I think I just needed to do something, and anything is fine, but just do something. Try. Links back to my advice, which is that you have to truly want help, actually get help. You can't. It won't work if you don't want the help. It won't work on you. And that's why so much therapy and stuff doesn't work on people, because you have to truly within yourself want to change. So
So one thing I got to mention, religion. What role does religion play in all this?
I think religion, having faith in general, is it keeps you from
one thing. Like one Quran verse is like, and they plan, but Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners, and that's one of the things.
And also
because it shows if you put your faith, it's gonna work out in the end.
Exactly, and also Allah does not burden the soul beyond its capacity. That's one thing that to bear in mind as well, which when you're going through something like a panic attack, you just feel like, really, are you sure? But then you just think, Allah says it, so it is. I think having faith is important anyways, and when you go through depression, it's even more important, because depression makes
you say your iman went low. Okay,
I think I want to say my belief in God had ever gone low, but I think
but how much you practiced it, or
I hardly practiced it. I'm not gonna lie. I hardly practiced it. And I'm not the most perfect Muslim, but I'm definitely improved from that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. At one point, I wouldn't pray at all. I think
people go through these phases like
months on that I wouldn't pray. I think this Ramadan was a big telltale, because the previous Ramadan, it was just the worst. I did keep my fasts, I did everything, but I didn't do everything. I didn't feel.
I think in order Ramadan. One of my friends was talking about this the other day. He's like, I prayed, but I didn't have meaning in it. Like basically, he had a little episode of depression, because basically he lost his job. So for a month he didn't do anything. He was just at home and he didn't know what to do, and he just like. He went for he went quiet. Like we were calling him, and he never picked up, so we were quite worried in it. And eventually told us he was a bit depressed. He just wanted time for himself, and he's saying like, what's it called? He was praying, but he wasn't feeling it. He wasn't putting meaning into it. And that's when like you can still look fast, but you're not gaining for the reasons. Anyone can fast, but it's the reasons you do it. It's like to teach lessons, discipline and stuff like that. And that's like the main thing. Last
year Ramadan I had that problem. This year, it went really well. Alhamdulillah. And it was a telltale sign of how mentally I've changed as well. And that's a good point as well. Make a journal, about your journey, because you might not see a big change. Your mental health might actually change in a different direction. You might be struggling in a different place, right? But when you make a journal, you realize, a year ago I was struggling on this. That's not even a problem now.
These 1% changes.
They add up. They add up. They 100% add up. I think I've become such a confident person. I think I've become a person.
I mean, you're here right now.
Exactly, but I just feel like I actually feel like an individual person. I have a life. I do things by my own accord. I have my own choices and I make my own choices and stuff. I think that's the most freeing feeling. And like I said, I'm not fully healed. I still have my traumas, I still have my problems, but I also have better days, and that's what matters. The bad days are less, and they happen, but that's natural. Everyone has bad days. That's normal. Have you got any more questions for me?
I don't know. What now then? Like, how much you're healing? You're not healed, but you're healing. You're much better than you were before. So what's next?
What's next?
Do you want to pursue? Do you want to improve like the mental scene? Do you want to just live life normally?
I think I want to continue being open and giving my advice to people. I think
because that's something that helped you as well.
Yeah, I mean, like normal people, I'll be around, and I think when you go through something like when you go through mental health and the amount of depth that like I have or other people have, you kind of tend to tell when someone is going through something. And I have a really good eye for that now, and I immediately just start off the conversation, even if it's not someone that I'm close to, because I just know that had I had someone like that, I would have really appreciated it. You know, if someone had come to me and spoken to me and said, "Yo, like, how you doing? Like, this is," you know, they had just like explained to me that it's okay. You know, I've had friends in my university courses who was going through a panic attack, and they didn't know what a panic attack was. They didn't know what was happening, and I was helping them. I was guiding them and everything, and we built our friendship over that. But it's so crazy how out of everyone, I'm the one that caught him in the middle of a panic attack. You know, and now he's getting therapy. He's getting paid therapy, so he's paying for his therapy.
Baller.
Yeah, 100%. So good for him, but it works. It's really working for him.
Yeah.
But like there was different routes for everyone.
Is it crazy? Like when you're like in the like, you know, deepest of the hole, you probably like thinking, oh, I wish I was nice. I wish I was normal. I wish I was like everyone else. I don't want to be associated with mental health. Yeah. But now once you're healed, it's the complete opposite. Like you want to like talk about it. You want to be open. That's part of acceptance.
Also because I know that
it can happen to
everyone goes through something. And I think I generally think it's made me
everyone's weird. Everyone has something weird.
100%. But it's made me much more of an emotional person. And I say that with pride as a man as well. I say that with pride.
Yeah.
It's made me an emotional person. Yeah. I care about. I mean, I work at Aldi, as I said in the beginning. Shout out to Aldi. Yeah. But even when I'm on the tills and I just see someone that doesn't look that looks a bit upset, I'm like, bro, can you just smile, please, man? I want to, you know, it just
that's cute.
It changes your life, right? Yeah. But for the better, which is ironic. But also like when you are really down and deep in that rabbit hole, like there are other things that you can go through. You know, suicide is one.
And then social media as well. You know how you said, oh, you don't. You know, everyone's weird to a point, but things we don't see it. People show their best parts about their life.
And you mentioned that as well when you said that my stuff are quite aesthetic and stuff. Like a lot of them is just like, you know, really cool editing.
That's the problem with social media. Social media, you show the good things. Like, everyone shows you show the bad stuff. Obviously, some people do, but genuinely, the stuff that gets promoted the most, is all the materialistic, all the nice things. Which is, you know, fair enough, you can enjoy it, but it's just when you're in a bad position, it's hard to think. Social media is just a fake environment.
Yeah. I think this is actually one of the realest you can get.
Yeah,
because like,
so listen to more podcasts, guys. Listen to podcasts.
We're both quite self-conscious right now because we just think that.
Look at Zarib just standing there, man.
Zarib standing there looking amazing. Guys, if you just knew how Zarib looked.
Oh my god, relax, man.
you know,
this ain't no violent,
you're
bro.
agreeing.
This ain't no violent, bro.
But like, no, because this is actually very raw. Because I'm very self-conscious about how I appear to you, or to an extent.
It's hard, especially with this. Like, it's like this is. I think it's a camera. We could have the conversation normally.
Yeah.
But there's a camera, but it's good because it's like you want to spread the knowledge. That's why another thing. I have so many. Like before, I used to have so many interesting conversations with people. Like some of the first question, like, we went crazy the first time we met in it. Jesus, calling your hand. Yeah,
but you know what? We had an immediate bond anyway. Yeah. I feel like he was like someone that I always wanted to be friends with.
Yeah, everyone says that about me, man.
Yeah. No, because it's like everything that I couldn't do with my friends.
Yeah.
Because you know they're not the type of people that feel comfortable doing those things. I was like, yo, I can do that with them.
Don't expose too much though. Don't make me look sus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No. Wait, no, it's the other way around.
No, relax. But yeah, what's it called? We're here sitting down and, you know, you get interesting conversations and this good stuff to share, you know, when people
this one was a bit serious though. I want to come back again.
Inshallah.
Bring me back, please.
Bring me ghost.
Time to bring me back. I want to do something fun next time. Maybe a group one would be fun actually.
Inshallah. Yeah. You get another chair for that. We got another microphone.
So we can just get a big setup.
Just need a chair.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's it then, isn't it?
Is that it? Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Like us. Do
you have any closing remarks then?
Do I have any closing remarks? Love yourself, as cringy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Work on yourself. Ask a friend if they're okay. If anyone ever posts something, you know, quite depressing or something, as attention seeking as it might come across, just ask if they're alright. Just it doesn't harm.
Even if it's attention seeking.
And even if it is attention seeking, but you know, there's
they want your attention, innit?
They want your they want your attention. Yeah, 100%. I think I couldn't word it any better.
Can I just say so it's Ramadan and then you post some depressing thing and I wasn't talking to people in I fully blocked. I didn't talk to no. I can't remember. I didn't talk to. No, I went in this period. I wanted to ghost everyone anyway because I want you to
that was sweet.
I want you,
actually see.
I want no, don't record. Don't relax.
No.
I want you to do a whole little transformation. Come back as a different person and like grow my hair out or something. Like come back with a beard. Oh, yeah, this is bad, man. The beard's bad. And I came back and I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just have to reply, message people and make sure they're okay. No, don't read the message out much.
No, I'm not reading it. I'm just trying to exactly understand what did I post. Anyways, but I've done a couple of stupid stuff like that. Like once I posted something really ambiguous. What did I post? Where everyone thought I was gonna die. Oh! I just posted I'm sorry on Snapchat.
He says, "Oh my god." I'm not on Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat.
And then I turned my phone off. I didn't even think about it. I just felt I'm sorry. Yeah. I just wanted to post it. I didn't even think about it. I turned my phone off, and these guys were like, they were so scared. Yeah. My other friend, we all have like
you got good friends.
We have an Apple share family thing. Yeah. And he
what? You have what?
What was it called? Apple. Family sharing, yeah.
That's family share. What the heck?
Okay, so anyways, so he would no. Because I wasn't answering his calls, he would
share you what?
Oh, yeah, you can share your purchase apps. You can see where everyone else is and stuff like that. But because I wasn't answering his calls, he was like, he activated my phone to like start ringing. Because like I wouldn't answer anyone's calls. So my phone was like ringing out of nowhere. I was like, where is this coming from? Find my iPhone started coming on. I was like, oh, and then I had to calling him, and apparently he almost had a heart attack. Like his Apple Watch monitor went high.
You should always surround yourself with good people, man.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Support. You need support. You can't be alone. You have to, get the support you need.
But you have to. You
have to surround yourself with good friends. Like, if your friends don't care about you, drop them off, cut them off. Even if you.
Yeah. Also, like,
couldn't kill us.
Whatever's bad for you, just cut it off.
Yeah.
You don't have to live that life. You don't have to be around that. Compromise is not the way anymore.
The thing is, you're scared. You're stuck in a cycle. You're scared of what's gonna happen if you cut it off. If you get out of your comfort zone. But once you do, you just deal with it.
Even
everyone,
if it means
at the end of the day, life goes on. Yeah. Regardless of what you do.
Even if it means to cut off with like specific family members, of course, parents, you have to always respect your parents and stuff. But it's like toxic uncle and aunties.
You can still love someone from afar. You can love someone. You can respect them. Yeah.
We're their side, so we're gonna have our bad uncles and aunties and stuff. And if it means that you gotta cut them off. Yeah. I'll go. I eat day. I spend at home. I don't even go to my big family gatherings. Yeah. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Everyone else goes, and I think this year was my first year where I didn't go to the huge family gathering thing because I don't want to be around them people. The people make me sad, and it's sad that that's the case. But it is,
At the end of the day, you should think about others, but you should always think for yourself the most.
Yeah, I think that's
if you go to somewhere that makes you uncomfortable,
don't be there.
Yeah, don't be there.
Don't be there. No. Yeah, that's just
put yourself forward.
100%.
But at the same time, you should also try see if you can try
Don't hurt people.
Yeah.
Don't hurt people.
You don't want to.
But when you're putting yourself forward and it's not hurting people, there's no harm in putting yourself forward. Yeah. A lot of people don't put themselves forward. They voluntarily just allow everyone else to thrive, and they just accept that this is the role that I have to play because this person told me that I have to play this role. Yeah. But no, if it doesn't hurt anyone else, we got a brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little closing statement. Think for yourself.
Think for yourself, mate. Do what you want, mate.
So anyways, let me do a little cheesy ending line. So if you all share these things in between us, all these little, ups and downs in between us and that.
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows in between us, all this. And I know at the end of the day, you all find your own different way to get around life.
Is it in between us or in between us?
In between us. You just said the same thing.
No, I said in between us, like the show.
I try to get copyrighted. You meant?
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how are you gonna get copyrighted?
In between us,
guys. It's in between us. You gotta make it come out. Yeah.
You get canvas singing in the background.
Yeah, because I thought okay. So we're not gonna get copyrighted.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, comment, surprise.
This guy, man.
I really want to do that. I've always wanted to do that.
Okay then. Yeah. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And sharing experiences is good. I hope other people can come on and share the experiences because it helps at the end of the day. People seeing other people in a similar situation, people can relate to them and then apply it more. And even if it's not depression, even if you're like a normal person, there's always some. As I said this in the first episode, and this is what this podcast is about. Every single thing you do in life, whether you read a book, whether you talk to someone, whether you fail a test, whether you walk around, you see someone, there's something you can take away from there. Every single, it's always that one, even if it's a small thing, always one thing. Yeah. When you read a book, you have one line that you take away that really resonates with you. When you go meet new people, there's something that you want to do. Like you probably living fine without me in it. They come up, something you enjoy, something you learn, something like that, blah blah blah. Yeah. And every day, the thing is, every day you learn something, and that's the point of this podcast. You wanna just takeaway for any situation, and you can apply to any situation. It doesn't have to apply to depression. It doesn't have to apply to mental health. It applies to it applies to like just every avenue of life. Like the stuff that you put from mental health that probably you can apply to like your education, your future job, whatever.
Yeah, there's so much more to have talked about. Yeah, but not necessarily necessary. You know what I mean? But everyone has their story. Everyone has their story. And not one story is better than the other. You know. Or more valid than the other. But yeah, I think every time we keep trying to do an ending,
we keep rambling.
We're literally like Desai aunties that are like on the when they're on the doorstep and they're like Ashra, the office, and then they're still there.
My parents, when we went to other houses, we were like, they said we're going now, so I'm ready for. I'm ready. 3 hours later we go because they just ramble on.
And they're standing outside the door and they're still talking. I almost died when I was a kid because of that. Like, no joke, seriously. My mom was like outside at the house, like talking to the woman, and this was like a really steep road. And then I saw my crisp packet had fallen on the floor, and I went and my crisp packet sliding into the road. What the heck, man? I ran the road and the car came out of nowhere. I was scared. But I almost died because of that. So,
but it's side point, what's it called? When your parents, like, at the end, do they give you money? Like, they always give you money or something like that. Did you get money?
For what?
Like, they give you, like, just a £10, just say, like, the
for standing outside the
door? No, as a kid. Like, family members always give money, and I really want you to take the money, but...
Oh, and your parents like, no!
Yeah, your parents like, no. And eventually they give it to you anyway, so I'm like...
Yeah, and do you know what, now that I'm older and Islamically...
I don't get money anymore,
but exactly, we don't get no money, but Islamically, I know that actually, you're not supposed to reject it. It's like it's a gift, you're supposed to accept it, right? So like now, if ever that situation comes, first of all, I'm old, so that situation never comes now. But like if ever that situation comes, I'm just like, my mom's just like, no, I'm like, no, mom, you can't say no, it's okay. But anyways, that was a good chat, and I hope you bring me up back for something more lighter, because this was quite sad, depressing. I hope we didn't make you too depressed.
Thank you for coming, man, filling up the numbers,
thank you,
episodes and stuff like that.
Absolutely honored, mate.
It's an amazing story. Alhamdulillah. And carries on getting better for everyone.
Yeah, inshallah. Maybe we can do
get Zarib on one day as well. You guys see some guys smile when he gasses him up on that. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for next episode.
Like, comment and subscribe.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.